Hi, so I'm back with my latest discussion video on chapters 331, 332, and 333. Sorry for the wait, but I had a bunch of Christmas gatherings and work-related stuff on, which is why I soon might have to start doing more triples instead of bi-weekly videos. If that's the case, I'll probably replace the missing content with longer form stuff, like the upcoming Rachel discussion I have planned. I'm not sure, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I swear every time I do one of these videos, I always have to put a small disclaimer or note before I talk about something to do with the topic. I'll try to work on reducing that nonsense going forward, but bear with me for now. So I'm in two minds about the revelation that the last train station has a teleporter function that will allow Bam and his friends to escape. Because on one hand, it's neat that the Hell Train Utopia was originally as a hard warship, and also that Huron somehow foresaw this hidden function. I mean, I'm always down for wartime artifacts being converted to safe havens due to the obvious symbolism, but on the other hand, it's straight up a deus ex machina. It's too handy, not properly explained, and you have to question why the operators of the station somehow didn't know this absurdly important detail in the first place. It kinda screams plot convenience. For that reason, I'm just waiting to see if we'll get any other details on the teleporter going forward. Is it exclusive to warships? How does it work? How many people can be transported at a time? That kind of stuff. And speaking of guard abilities, I was glad my boy Evan came to save the day for Bam's crew once again, releasing White and Karaka from their prison. People really need to start respecting him as much, if not more, than Hiroyan, because while he doesn't have the skill of long-term foresight, his sense of the immediate future's crossroads has always been extremely helpful. And it's kind of funny because SAU doesn't really call attention to it. The dude is literally whistling as he goes about his undercover business. So as I said, Evan doesn't really get enough respect, so it's been great to see him not being the butt of Yuri's jokes once. It also kind of makes the workshop look like a joke, considering those prisons were specialized for rankers like Karaka, and he just kind of dismantled it like it was nothing. Okay, so I have to admit, these last three chapters have really soured me on Bam's personality. Goddamn is this boy freaking dumb. Literally sucker punches the people that are defending him from a high ranker, and then he immediately realizes that was a shit move. Why the hell did you attack White then? Couldn't you have waited a couple seconds to figure out your next move? And then to top it off, he argues with Karaka about wanting to fight people he clearly could not win against. White just told you that they'd protect your safe passage. Get the hell out of there. As Karaka astutely observes, escaping the battlefield would still be considered a victory for them. Bam just doesn't get it. Either be strong-willed in your pride, or steadfast in your understanding of the situation. Don't flip-flop between the two because you're too slow-minded to understand the appropriate course of action. I like Bam. I get that he's a blank slate trying to deal with this crazy new world. I've defended his admittedly sporadic personality development. But when he continues to act like a typical battle shonen protagonist, it hurts me a little. It really does. And then there's the whole situation with Caliban randomly teleporting in front of him. I get that Bam's furious about Jinsang's supposed death, even if I don't really buy into their relationship all that much. But pulling a Portuguese D ace because he can't let go of his hatred is textbook stupidity. It's what gets you killed in a world like TOG, if you don't have plot armor, that is. Not to mention, his weapons merchant form looks absolutely ridiculous. As Def the Kid would say, the lack of symmetry is disgusting. I get that SIU was trying to inspire awe from the readers in the last panels of chapter 333, but I honestly just sighed. It's typical Korean manhwa overkill, unfortunately, where the author will inundate the protagonist with unearned ass-pull power-ups to address a circumstantial gap in their current strength. I bet that after this clash, Bam will lose or be unable to properly use some of his new abilities. For instance, I'll speculate that the black that Black March will take back her form after the fighting is over, citing what Caliban also knew, that he's not ready for that type of needle yet. Then he'll be almost back to square one, which is why I despise these plot-specific power-ups. So I've covered my opinions of the Jinsung vs Caliban fight before, but I'd just like to mention a few little details about the climactic finish. So while browsing the weekly discussion thread on the TOG subreddit, I noticed there was a really interesting but out there theory proposed. So bear with me, but what if the Dragon Tiger Gate move by Jinsung Ha indicates that he has a mixed family heritage? So Ari Han and Ha Yurin had twins, who are both non-coincidentally trying to claim ownership of the Ha family throne. We know Jinsung is considered special among the Ha family, and his title of Ha family member hasn't been revoked despite his role in Thug and the massacre of a branch family. Now take this with a huge grain of salt, because the only family to have animals or beasts associated with it is the Lopobia family, obviously. But could the tiger and dragon in his ultimate flare explosion be sort of a subtle hint towards his origins? Like one from each family? Like, I know this is silly, and this theory isn't really based on a whole lot of evidence, but I'd love to see some conversations about this in the comments section anyways. Keep me up with what you think. Now, if anybody was wondering what the big spoiler I received last time was, well, Mansheni's appearance was it. So yeah, my enthusiasm for this scene is nowhere near what it would usually be. Like, I still loved her calculated betrayal, which began as far back as the bet with Yuri, for crying out loud. Like, I mean, fuck her, but this is the kind of TOG shit that made me an avid fan, so I can't really wait to explore her character motivations more. But you know, it still sucks to have known that this was coming, because it's such a huge plot point. So I think I can claim a correct prediction for my ego, because Cheon-hee's anger not only stems from the misunderstanding that the royal princesses are bound to a noble sense of high honour and respectability, but also a tinge of jealousy at the perceived weight of this title. It becomes very, very clear after chapters 332 and 333 that Cheon-hee doesn't understand that a royal princess is chosen as a formality. The title only carries danger, life without marriage, and a position among a glass showcase of pretty shoes, as Ha Yurin aptly points out. This theme has been prevalent throughout the depiction of the royal princess's internal struggles, but Cheon-hee, she just didn't get the memo. It's something you accept, not something you should be striving for. And SAU goes even further with that characterization, as Yuri childishly questions whether blowing through these unnecessary restrictions is the real way to earn respect. Following orders like Cheon-hee does is the opposite of her ideals, because it demonstrates a cowardly way of avoiding responsibility. I really like this nuanced take on the distinction between a royal princess and commanders with high authority in Zahad's royal forces. Acting however you want means you have to take responsibility and own up to these decisions, rather than blindly obeying potentially terrifying orders. And judging from chapter 333, it seems like Yuri is going to show Cheon-hee the importance of those type of actions, and do things her way. Not sure if we're going to get it, but I'd love to see if Cheon-hee eventually switches sides, possibly covertly, and assists Yuri after seeing the true strength of a royal princess. And also, that freaking slime appears again. SAU needs to really stop playing around and tell us what the Green April specifically does with that ability. Oh, and since I have nowhere to add this little section, I'll just say that I appreciate White reinforcing the perception that the Ari family are a cowardly offshoot of the Eri family. It's these little interactions like this that I love, because it doesn't need to be incorporated, but it helps maintain world-building continuity. Now, don't crucify me, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought Chapter 333 was hot garbage, especially compared to the general quality of this arc. I've been seeing all these excited reactions on Annie Twitter and the TOG subreddit, and all I'm thinking is, did we read the same chapter? Like, I don't buy into Jinsung Ha and Bam's master-student relationship, so that overly sentimental flashback didn't really do anything for me. You can't really pop back into Bam's story once every 70 chapters and expect me to care about this bond. Like, I enjoy both of their characters, but I still can't see them that way. And then we've got Caliban literally being a talking ball of muscles. Like, this dude is so boring. I thought this dude was going to be an interesting conductor of chaos archetype, as the Rhapsody piano opening foreshadowed, but he seems like a completely different character now. And no, I'm not that upset that his character shattered my expectations. I just genuinely think that he's a bland weirdo with no personality. SAU said this fight would feel like Bam punching a wall, and that's a perfect description. Still doesn't make it enjoyable though. It's just the poor man's Jinsung versus Caliban. But despite all that frustration, that's not to say I didn't find anything interesting to talk about. We got Androssi now officially declaring her non-affiliation with Sahad, to a person like Caliban no less, which is actually important even if it was done in a sort of offhand manner. Same with Yuri actually, which leads me to believe that Caliban might personally report their treason to the higher-ups, such as Adobe, considering she's like a princess too. Other than that, the Cheon-hee stuff was also pretty great. But yeah, this is exactly the type of chapter I hate. One where it feels like you can plot a trajectory for the arc's finish, and it's not even remotely what you want to happen. Like, so help me if Bam eats the essence of bravery for no reason. I'd say the next video will be a rant, but this kinda turned out that way here. Oh well. Thanks for watching anyways, and I hope you got some enjoyment out of my silly little rambles. See you next time.